interest of getting you all out of here, not keeping you all afternoon, we're gonna go ahead and get started. And our
Illustrious?
illustrious president, Diane, is going to talk to you about history and the leadership opportunities.
But first, I think that we all need to get to know each other just a little bit, if that's okay.
Sure.
Okay, you're in charge. We have two guests today, and we'll go by first names because it's hard to remember
Yeah, I
last
brought
names
name
too.
tags and then I forgot to get them out.
Okay. We, back when I had first grade, we played a game and knew everybody's name before the end of
Don't do that
10
today.
minutes, but we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. Okay. We need to get Jackie out of here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we have Lori, and she is the tech coach for Clinton City Schools. So she goes to all three of the schools. And we have Jackie as our guest. And Jackie is a retired kindergarten teacher. Okay. The members of Pi Chapter who are here is our Amanda.
Hello.
Here. She is second vice president.
First, right?
I think.
She is first.
I'm a vice
She
president.
is first
Okay.
vice president. Okay, second does the yearbook, sorry. And she is also vice principal at Clinton School.
Yeah.
Then we have, do you know Jenna? Jenna May?
Jenna May?
Oh, no, Sharp, no.
Okay. We have
High
Jenna.
high school, I'm sorry, I'm thinking elementary.
Hello.
She is co-president of Pi Chapter for the last biennium. And she's also a third grade teacher at Andersonville, right?
Correct.
And Pat Aldridge, I won't read what, okay.
She knows a lot about me.
She has been a past vice president. Last biennium, she was nominations chair. You can see right there. I didn't read it out
I
loud.
can't read it, so.
Okay. And she is nominations chair. She was nominations chair last biennium, and she is membership chair this biennium. Then we have our ever faithful Kathleen, who is our treasurer and carries a big load there. And we've got Pat Stonecipher. Did you turn it around? I'm teasing you, don't do that.
Make Vicky nauseous when she watches.
Communications and publicity extraordinaire. And then we have Amy. No, Amy's not here.
Sarah.
No, Sarah.
But I've got Amy on here. I'm not looking. And Sarah, you know what? You were the co-chair of the membership chairman. But I don't even know what you're doing now.
I don't either.
And we won't go there. Okay. I am Diane, and I'm the current president of Pi Chapter. And Pi Chapter is part of the Tennessee State Organization of Delta Kappa Gamma, big breath, International Society of Women Educators, okay, or DKG. You both have been identified as a strong leader in education by either a friend, a fellow worker, or an administrator. Thus, you have been extended, I have to look at this, okay, an invitation to join the largest organization and honorary society for women in education in the world, okay? DKG now has 3,100 chapters in 75 state organizations in 17 countries. We're only one of the countries, okay? And we are 50 of the 75 states. So that gives you kind of an idea of how big we are. And this just shrunk. Okay. What is Delta Kappa Gamma, you ask? It's a professional honor society, as I just said, of key women educators worldwide. And Pat has already told you that she's asked me to provide a history, which is interesting. Delta Kappa Gamma was started in 1929 by 12 people in Texas. Okay, you think 1929.
Mhm.
Okay, what happened in 1929? Stock market crashed in October 28th. The Great Depression began. Women weren't driving cars very much back then. There were paved roads, but it was still a lot of dirt roads out there. And they went across the country finding other strong women in education to start chapters across the country. Okay? I can't imagine, but it worked. I looked up what a Model A car looked like. It was a little better than the earlier versions, but they only went 45 miles an hour. So if they really tried, they could go up a little faster than that, but I was impressed. Okay, move from 1929 to 1943. And in 1943, this area had just gotten electricity 6 years earlier. Okay. One of the 12 women contacted a UT professor who in turn contacted the supervisor of elementary education in Anderson County, who in turn got a group of Anderson County teachers together, and they met at Shinliver Elementary School. Nobody knows where that is. You do. And found them in the cafeteria making candy for the World War II, I guess Anderson County soldiers to send over to them, and asked them if they were interested in forming Pi Chapter. Thus, Pi Chapter was formed in 1943 on June 5th. We will be 80 years old next year. May 2nd, we're gonna have a birthday party. Y'all are invited. So, it's kind of exciting. Okay, Pat also asked me to.
Talk about leadership.
Exactly.
Opportunities.
Yes, okay. There are many strong leaders in this organization, some who are in this room right now, okay? At our 80th birthday celebration, Becky Sadowski will be there. She's gonna be our guest speaker. She is our most recent past international president, a fellow Tennessean, and she is astounding, okay? She is also equally astounding in her friendliness and in her humbleness. I think she could run the country. I really do. I mean, I'm not exaggerating. It'll be good. So from the local, the state, the national, and the international level, you will make friends and acquaintances with strong leaders. This little lady, okay, went to a beginning leadership training, and the beginning leadership and the advanced leadership training in Tennessee is not for leaders, it's for anybody that wants to go, okay? When we went down to Nashville, you remember sitting at the table and everybody's coming over to talk to Abby? So she went to the beginning leadership training and made an impression.
Sometimes good and sometimes bad. Always something.
Anyway, let us move on. Sorry about that. Okay. So just being with other people is a learning opportunity. The beginning leadership and the advanced leadership are held every year in the fall and in the spring. So one is in the fall one year, and then the next one is in the spring the following year. They flip-flop. There is also advanced leadership training at the national level. But I don't think we've had anybody but Vera Jo, and
She's the only one that I know. She's the only one that I know.
okay.
That's done something on the international level?
No, that went to the national training in Texas.
Okay, I'm sorry, I thought you said
So-
international.
So, why join Delta Kappa Gamma? The other members? Who's next?
Okay, Sarah's going to talk to you just real quickly about the meetings.
We meet the first Tuesday of every month from September to May, downstairs. And meetings usually start at 5, and we eat and kind of have fellowship between 5 and 5:45-ish. And then we'll do the chapter business and the programs and speakers and all that. And that's about it.
Amanda's gonna tell us a little bit about the programs.
One of my jobs as the first vice president this year is coordinating the programs. Last week, and one of the reasons that we got to meet Lori is this month. Was our meeting last week? It's all starting to run together. It's that time of year, you know. November is STEM month, and Clinton High School recently received its STEM designation. One of the schools she works at, South Clinton, is going through that STEM process. So we kind of just explained what that means, since STEM is kind of one of those buzzwords that we often have in education. So we try to make our programs relevant to what's going on in the educational field at the moment. We do try to make them fun as well. We try to bring in things that are from the local education or the local community. So the schools, like next month, we have the CHS chorus coming to sing Christmas songs and stuff for us. So I would encourage you to come and hear that. We sometimes have legislative speakers come and keep us up to date on some of the things that are happening in Nashville, especially in terms of education.
Okay. And Sarah is going to talk to us about the projects that we do.
We do projects both locally and I would say internationally. And the local ones vary, but every year we support the new teachers in Anderson County with gift bags, or we used to do a breakfast. Honestly, it kind of depends with how many there are, to be honest. But we've done gift bags in the past, the more recent past. This past meeting, we did the canned food drive for the church, the Blessings Box. We've also done Read Across America, where members will read a book on YouTube, was it? Record on YouTube and read a book. We've done that. We've done, oh gosh, I just can't think now.
The coins for school.
Oh, yeah.
Schools for Africa.
Schools for Africa, yes. Like we raise money for Schools for Africa. We do high school scholarships. From each high school, we give $500 to a girl who is interested in becoming an educator that they can use for whatever. We do state essay competition where they can, I forgot how much that one is.
It varies.
Yeah, I was gonna say 250, I think is maybe
Yeah.
what it is this year.
They have, they're having high school.
Middle
It goes all
school
the way, yeah, this
and
year.
elementary.
It's every level this year,
Every
it's not
level.
just high school.
So more, so state essays. And anyone interested in the state convention, we do provide money for them to attend. For the International Schools for Africa that we've raised money for, that goal is to provide quality education to all the underprivileged kids in Africa. And I looked it up. It's in conjunction with UNICEF, and to date, the entire program, not just DKG, but all the Schools for Africa, has provided education opportunities for over 30 million children in Africa in over 21 African countries. We've been trying, COVID got in our way and we have not gotten back to that, but A Day for Girls, which is creating girls in underprivileged areas. Is that Africa too, or any third world? Do you know?
I believe it is just Africa.
It's when the girls have their periods, they don't go to school and they miss, so that means they're missing up to, well, I'd say 7 days every month because they don't have the resources like we do for menstrual cycles. So our goal was, which we're still working on, is creating little basically period packs for them that they can wash, reuse, that kind of stuff, because they have no way to do it. They just stay home and they're missing opportunities, obviously, for an education, which keeps them in poverty, keeps them in the home, and we want them to get them to school. So we work with all of those things.
The Hazel McCrary.
Hazel, I think that's it.
me.
That's you. Okay, I'm sorry, I jumped ahead. Okay.
Where's Pat? Pat, you wanna talk about the newsletter and the websites and all that?
Okay, each
Want me
month,
to record?
oh, sure. Each month, we put out a newsletter, and I'm lucky to have Chelsea Meredith, one of our relatively new members, and she's a student member. She's not a teacher yet. She's still a teacher in training. And so she's helping me out with that, and we do that and send out a call for newsletter items, and everybody's really good about doing that. And we have certain criteria that we have to meet at the state level in order to receive points for the Macy Award. Is that right? Okay. And then we also have a website that's very simple, but we try to update it monthly with the newsletter and with pictures from our meetings that we have. That's about it.
And then we also have a chapter website,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
and, what-
That's the one, yeah,
Yeah.
that I was telling. And when you get your first newsletter, at the very top, it'll have the website. And like I said, it's simple and it's free. It's done through Weebly, because we don't want to pay.
our newsletters are top notch.
Ah.
Okay, Abby, you're up, girl.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to talk about the scholarships, both internationally and through the state. There are a variety. In fact, there's like, I think over 30 with the international, and there's I think 7 to 10 possibilities with the state for scholarships for educators that wish to further their education. Different scholarships are for different levels, so if you want to go back and get your master's, there are certain ones that you can apply for. And from my understanding and what I have witnessed, it seems like it's pretty easy to get them. So I think last year at the convention, one girl got both from the international and the state, which I think totaled around $30,000.
Right.
They just wrote her a check, and that went towards her doctorate. So like I said, you can get one for your EDS, undergraduate. So if you're a collegiate student, you can apply to get a scholarship for your bachelor's. And let's see, what does it say?
There's one, at least one where if you're going to a conference, you want to go to a conference, you can apply for that to be
Yeah.
paid for,
You are right.
all kinds of things.
And then on average, the international, DKG International will award around or between $130,000 to $258,000 in scholarships a year. So like I said, it's pretty easy to get one. The scholarships applications themselves are pretty extensive. I'm in the process of getting my EDS. And so I am filling out both the international and the state scholarship forms. So again, the state ones are a little bit less than the international ones, so you can get around $3,000 to $5,000 from the state, just depending on what level of education you are pursuing. Okay, and I'm talking about grants as well. Alright, so we have a couple of grants that we raise money for within our chapter. The first one is the Hazel McCreary Classroom Grant, which can be awarded to any member who has a need in their classroom. So all they do is fill out, it's a very short form, and they write what they're wanting the money for, and it's usually awarded to them. I think in past years we even did a kind of like a drawing for the grant, and so where we gifted the grant to someone, they just had to come up with what they were going to spend the money on and fill out the form for us. So the Hazel McCreary Classroom Grant was established in 2004 in honor of one of our members, 57 years, Hazel McCreary. She was the treasurer for 38 years, and
And we're working on that.
Be in a grave.
sorry. Wow. Okay. So some ways that we raise money for the grant. We do a happy jar at every meeting where we pass around a jar and the members put in $1, $5, whatever, however much, and you tell something that you're happy about that month. So all of those proceeds go to the Hazel McCreary Classroom Grant, and there are bracelets as well. Have we done those in a while? We should start doing that again.
I was taking care of my mom during that time.
Yeah, so those are in honor of Hazel. The bracelets are memoriam, I don't know what the word is. And then the other grant that we do, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't say how much we've gifted. Since its inception, we have gifted over $2,600 to chapter members for classroom grants. The other one is the Vera Jo Henniger DKG grant. It is our newest grant. And we offer 2 $500 grants to young women who are seniors in Anderson County High School. And I think you touched on that just a little bit. And it is funded by us doing fundraising for special meals, a silent auction at the meetings, t-shirt sales, and we also use some of the Happy Jar proceeds for that as well. And so in 2019, the grant was renamed the Vera Jo Henniger DKG grant in memory of our Vera Jo.
And Lori's daughter received it, right?
Oh, did she? Yes. And there are also state grants, and the only reason I really know that is I wrote that up in the newsletter last time. And they're all listed on the Tennessee State DKG website. I was really impressed. You know, these were ideas from around the state for your individual classroom. So if you've got an idea that's in the early stages, you can go on there and look at all the ones that have been given in the past. And when I went down and looked at the whole list of everything given in the past, my brain started working overtime. And I thought, oh gosh, I wish I had known about that when I was teaching. I could have gotten $1,000 maybe. And they award a lot of them. Okay, so it's, I'm sorry.
They
Now,
do.
is it Kathleen?
No, it's me actually.
Okay.
And then Kathleen, she gets to wrap it up.
For all of this that you get, Kathleen's gonna offer you a deal.
I'm gonna talk to you for just a couple of minutes about the conventions and the conferences that are available. The main one I'm gonna feature is the state convention, because that one, more people go to that. It's a little cheaper, it's close by, we don't have to fly an airplane to get there. It's at the University of the South. It's always the first weekend in June, so this coming year it's June 1, 2, 3. We go down on a Thursday, have dinner, have the first general session. At that session they honor the Order of the Rose recipients, which are ladies who have contributed to their chapters in the communities, and Pi Chapter has 9 of those, so
amazing.
that's good. And then this year, for the first time, we had a Rosebud Award, and this is for our younger members. They don't even have to be younger, newer members.
You're probably right.
In Abby's case, she's a younger member, but if you look at the wording, I think it says newer. But anyway,
And she's the youngest one so far.
Yeah.
You're the third one?
no, she's the first.
No.
No, she's the second one. There's
Second.
and there's only one in the whole state.
Only one in the whole state, yeah. For
She's
the
really
Order of the
special.
Rose, there's usually about 12, and they're from all over the state. But okay, I thought you were the first. She's the second, but that's still.
For our chapter?
No, for our
No,
the
for the
first for our
state.
chapter.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Look at
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
And nobody knew. This one knew.
Yeah.
She didn't tell
I
anybody.
was on the committee.
I found out from the Oak Ridge teachers behind me. Oh, that little Clinton girl's got it.
Clinton girl.
And she's not a Clinton girl, but I knew who she was. And you
Okay.
found out backstage.
I did.
Because you were on the committee.
She was
too.
on the committee, so that was a real
They kept
task
having
to keep
secret
it.
meetings without me,
Did you feel left out?
which I found out afterwards. It's fine.
Okay, so if you go on Thursday, the first thing you've got to do is register, of course, and when you do, they'll give you and I have this one. This is one from last year. When I moved, I threw out tons of stuff, but I still have this.
It covers our Zentangle project that we did that
Yes. at that workshop.
Let's see, let's see.
Zoom.
Oh,
Zoom.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did that.
Oh, that's another thing. If you go to the state website, all the virtual meetings, which are interesting, are available, and you can watch them at your own pace. And we get Macy Awards, guys.
And if you do Instapot, there's, Sherry Collins does the Instapot, those are wonderful. And I don't even use
Also, if you
Instapot.
do them, please let me know so I can mark something on the Macy Award.
Yes.
Okay? Don't do it without
Yeah.
telling me.
We get points for that.
Yeah.
We have, well, I tried to ask you where the evaluations were when I took over, and you go, what evaluations? I was president back in the 90s, 96 to 98, I don't know when I
Yeah.
was, yeah. So back then, we did it differently.
Well, the Macy Award is just chapter excellence that's held through the state, and so throughout the year, members do different things, and
It's a
you receive
competition.
different amounts of points for those things. And then we fill out a very big long form and send it into the state. And if you receive a certain number of points, then you get a different level of the Macy Award. And so it's a very big deal. And we
our
always
chapter
get
Always gets the highest.
Yes.
So if you watch
Gold, gold.
it-
Gold.
And if you all watch virtual, please tell me so we can get it. We don't wanna drop it. And it's interactive this year. So
What
you
does
just
that
keep
mean?
it. That
Oh,
means
yes,
you
yeah.
go and put your little
Yeah.
mark in there and it tallies it.
Be a little bit easier to do.
Vicky did
Anyway, when you check in, you always get some kind of little favor. This is a DKG umbrella we got one year. I think last year, did we get the garment bag? Was that
It was
last
like
year?
a
The shoe-
toiletry
shoe bag.
bag.
Shoe-
Oh, it
no,
was
I
a shoe
thought-
bag.
Well, they told me it
It's
was
a shoe bag. You're right.
It
It looks like a toiletry bag.
We get different
But
But
bags.
any kind of piece of luggage, I'll take
Yeah.
it.
Well, it's not real expensive stuff.
But it's
They used
cool.
to give us
It's
tote
cool
bags
stuff.
all the time, but people got so loaded up with tote bags, they
Yeah.
haven't
And they
done
give-
that so much.
They gave the stainless steel mugs and
Yeah,
lots
yeah.
of stuff.
We've had
There's
lots of
a-
tote.
Oh.
Here's one of the tote bags.
I was like, that's leather. That's
That's
nice.
plastic.
It's for
nice.
leather.
Well, I got a canvas
Leather.
one.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, so, you can choose to stay on campus in a dorm, and we did that for years and years and years, and it was lots of fun, but as we've gotten older,
And our backs have given out.
last year, we all
We
stayed
can
at
climb
a
on that
motel,
upper
which was
bunk.
about, what, 5
The
minutes
lodge,
away.
yes, yeah.
And it was kinda nice, you had
Mhm.
2 people for 1 bathroom instead of,
Yeah.
you know, being on
A floor,
a
Yeah,
floor.
yeah.
like a dorm.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause it is a dorm.
Mhm.
It, you know, it is fun to stay in the dorm, but it was pretty nice to stay in the motel.
So when Kathleen got locked out.
No, that was not. Oh, yeah. That's a story for another day. On Friday is probably our big day. It starts with breakfast. Then we go into the second general session, and if there's a lot of business, that's usually when that takes place, during that session. I'm trying to think what else.
Breakout sessions.
Yeah, we have our breakout sessions, which are kind of workshops. Some of them are just fun things, some of them are educational, and in the past, some school systems will give you in-service credit for going to those.
They still do.
Yeah.
And the very first conference that I went to, a convention I went to, I presented.
I do
Okay.
So it was on Google.
Yeah, so,
Just
Back in the day.
Just like searching on
No,
Well,
no,
I did-
using
I did
Google, the
international
Google Drive and all
application,
that
I
stuff.
Okay,
actually
okay.
did
Which-
one the year that we did virtual
Okay.
conference.
And you just got finished.
I was the first one ever
Yeah, I
asked
did
to use
another
the
one.
computer lab.
Yeah.
I was the first one ever asked to use
Yes.
their computer lab
Oh, wow.
because it was hands-on.
okay. Friday, we have what we call our awards luncheon, where they hand out, okay, Pi Chapter, you got
Mhm.
gold for your newsletter, blah, 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 and they give out all these little certificates, and,
The scholarships are awarded.
and the
as well.
scholarships are awarded during the awards luncheon. Then we have more breakout sessions, and then we have our only kind of fancy event is the President's Banquet on Friday night, where our chapter presidents are recognized. We have a really nice meal, beautiful decorations. They'll have little favors. They gave these out one year.
Mhm.
And they're really handy because They give you meal tickets, you know, and you put them in your pouch and not have to dig around and lose them.
But it's not too fancy.
Not too
Okay.
fancy.
A long time ago, they wore long gowns.
But
Yeah.
just the presidents did, right?
I
they still
know,
do?
there
Oh,
were
everybody, okay.
formals and stuff. This was,
Yeah.
yeah.
Before
I
my
know
time.
when I went,
If you get a church dress
Formal.
on or something.
or
you-
slacks and a
and a
nice
hat.
blouse
Oh,
or
yeah.
something. I shouldn't have been.
I
dressed
wore a
up.
jumpsuit.
Yes.
Okay.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I'd have been right there with you.
Okay, oh, and I
So you
forgot,
can come in jeans if you
forgot
want.
to mention, there's a silent auction that goes on Thursday and it's Friday. And that silent auction raises money for all the leadership things they do. The beginning and the advanced, which you didn't have to pay anything for that, correct?
Which one? No, I did not. I do not.
It's beginning
Yes.
is $25 and
The chapter paid it,
yeah.
but that wouldn't begin to cover it.
Right.
So the money from the silent auction, all that goes toward the leadership. Saturday morning to me is the most beautiful part of the convention. We have a ceremony of remembrance, and it's in this gorgeous, it's called All Saints Chapel.
It's a
The
cathedral.
campus there is patterned after Oxford University. It's just gorgeous. The
Nice.
buildings are so beautiful, but this chapel is so pretty. And we remember all of the members over the past year who've died, and we light a candle in their memory. And if someone from your chapter has died, everybody stands up. It's a beautiful, beautiful service. And then we end with our birthday brunch, and we're usually out of there by 11:30. So, you know, that's 12:30 our time. It takes about 2.5 hours to get down there. You go through Chattanooga,
Beautiful time.
into Georgia, and then back into Tennessee. It's at Swanee. It's just a beautiful place. The international and conventions are held in even number of years. They're wonderful. I've been to, I think I counted 9 over the years. They're very impressive. You have people that come from all these different countries, and you have the procession of the flags, and they wear, you know, costumes and carry the flags in, and the flags go up on the stage.
Was the international always held in America?
So far,
Okay.
yeah.
Some of the regions.
Now, well, now,
Yeah.
we had an international in Toronto,
Okay.
which I went to. It was lots of fun.
Sure.
The
Toronto is a fun city.
an even number of years is the international conferences,
Okay.
and they have 3 of those, 2 in the USA, 1 in Europe. And you could, if you decided you wanted to go to the one in Europe, you could go. You can choose wherever you want to go. So those
so
are
there's
coming up.
3 of them in a year.
The conferences, yeah. The conventions, it's more like the society business. We have long sessions sometimes on, you know, amendments to the Constitution, or
Rules.
rules and all that kind of thing. The conferences are not so much that. But they're fun, and they're you get time to do sightseeing. They have all kinds of things you can do while you're there. So we've actually had 3 in Tennessee, 2 in Nashville, 1 in Chattanooga. And I think there was 1 in Memphis before I joined, but sometimes they're fairly close by. The conferences coming up this year are going to be in Phoenix, Arizona, Detroit, Michigan, and Finland. Yeah, so if you could go to one, it's expensive to go to
Yeah.
them because they're longer for one thing. They're
Sure.
not 3 days; they're like 5 days. And of course, if you have to fly, but it's worthwhile to go to one. It's very impressive to see, you know, the people who belong. And
Well, I
you
think
feel
it would
like,
just be
wow.
also interesting to hear about how they do their education in some of those places.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So I would encourage you, and I hope you'll at least try to go to the Tennessee convention.
Do we still give a scholarship for that?
First time.
First
We
time?
have
First time
Okay.
attendees.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
first
have
time
extra
attendees.
money in the, scholarship.
Okay.
And we're heading in that direction.
Yay!
we're doing
We have a
Good,
good
good, good.
silent auction.
Okay, Kathleen, now you can talk to us about the fun part.
Well, if I may, before I get to the treasurer's part,
Sure.
I wanted to kind of go back and say a little thing about what everybody else said. I was so honored to be asked to be in this organization when I was invited to join, because I've always wanted to be with other women leaders. And from the time that I was in high school, I wanted to be around other women who were interested in going places and doing things. And I don't know if I think here we have Daughters of the American Revolution. I remember in high school, I was named a DAR award winner. And I remember my classmates making such fun of it because they said, oh, there's our DAR girl. I didn't know at the time what it was. I had no idea. But I met a lot of really nice ladies at the Bonnie Cape chapter of the DAR, which I still keep in contact with because they conduct the essays in most of the elementary schools in the area where I live. And so we went to a regional DAR confab and met some other people there. And then I went to Girls State for Tennessee, met a lot of people there, and then went to UT, met a lot of the same people that I met at the DAR and Girls State. And then as I went to teach, I continued to meet a lot of those same people all along my life. And then as I continued to teach, continued to meet all of these women leaders all throughout my life. Went on a trip to China in 2010, and lo and behold, a girl from New Jersey was there, member of Delta Kappa Gamma in New Jersey. Almost every woman on the trip was a member of Delta Kappa Gamma in her state. And I mean, it's just an honor to be a part of an organization that has key women leaders. So it's just been an honor to be a part of this organization. I wanted to say that. When it comes to the Treasury, our dues, as far as the total amount of dues, has remained at $85, I guess, for as long as I've been treasurer. And that's been 8 years. Other chapters in the state, I think, have gone up on their dues. We've just felt like that was about the amount of money that our members could afford. From that $85, $40 goes to international. 14 of it goes to the state, and then we retain whatever is left. And so that's, that's what we base our budget on. So that's not a whole lot of money, but we are able to do a whole lot with that amount of money. And we're very frugal with what we have. And our members are very generous and give of their time and treasure to make possible all the things that we do. So I am, as the treasurer, very conscious of if anyone needs to make payments on their dues. I am very open to that. I have a good memory and good bookkeeping. If anybody needs to make 3 payments, that's fine with me. I can keep up with it. If you want to pay on Venmo, we've got that set up. Cash, check.
We take whatever you got firstborn.
We just, we do it all because we live in the real world, and so we make that very easy for everyone. I have an initiate card that I ask all new members to fill out, and it mentions at the top of it, please give the chapter treasurer your initiation fee. It's now induction fee, that's $10. And then your dues, which are $85. Now that's quite a whack. That means that's $95. So like I say, if you want to make payments, 3 payments, on the sheet where it talks about dues, I broke down the dues to 3 monthly payments. So, or I didn't even say monthly, I just said 3 payments. And I also gave the directions on how to pay by Venmo. So
Which makes
that's
it
down
easy.
at the bottom of that sheet, so I'll give you that sheet. So, for a person who didn't learn to type until she was 28, I tried to learn in high school, but my typing teacher, I took typing between my junior and senior years in summer school because I didn't have any room for it in my schedule. I had so many academic courses, but I wanted to be a journalist because I was editor of my high school newspaper, and I started college majoring in journalism. And I thought, I've got to learn to type. And my poor typing teacher at West High School, she despaired of me. And I was accurate, but as far as speed, there was nothing there. Because we were on those old typewriters.
Pre-electric.
Oh, Heavenly Mother, it was awful. And my little finger just would not go down on those old typewriters. Now, once we had computer keyboard, a breeze, So, but anyway, I've learned all of the computer now stuff. So anyway, I can do all that. So anyway, we try to make it easy. And like I say, everyone in our chapter is so generous and helpful. And we just do a whole lot in our chapter with whatever we have. And so that is kind of a breakdown of how we go about doing everything. A lot of our money goes to international, but we get a lot from international. So we're okay with that. Anybody have any questions about that? Is there something that
Questions about anything? Okay.
You're not in the way, you're fine.
Well, we hope you got some information that you find useful, and if you know that you do want to become a member, we will be inducting. It means just taking you in as an official member at our December meeting.
And it's a beautiful ceremony.
It is very pretty. On December 6th, right? If you could let me know, let's see, maybe by the 3rd, so we have what we need there. Make sure we have everything we need for you. That would be great. So,
I'd like to say something about the younger members that we have. I really admire you guys for doing this because I didn't join until I was retired. And I have a lot of time. Your time is precious. So I appreciate having the newer members that we have. The younger members, the newer younger members. I put my foot in my mouth the last meeting. Talking about the old members. But I know if you're still working, you've got a lot on your plate. But this is a good opportunity to get out and just kind of take a sigh of relief over the day. And I've never come out of a meeting yet that I didn't feel uplifted. At times I really needed it.
and you know you're with people who know exactly what you're going through
Understand.
and understand. Yeah, even us old ones, we remember.
Some of you are still remembering. Some of you are still remembering.
Yeah, and I still teach.
Yeah,
So,
it's so touching.
still do it part-time.
Mhm.
And still love it. I mean, I've never taught at elementary or middle school, but now I'm doing that, so.
They're
Praise
just in smaller bodies,
They're
because I
just
went
in
from
small-
elementary to middle school and was scared to death and found out they were just elementary kids in
High
bigger
school's
bodies.
the same way.
High
Bigger-
school's the
I've been
same
at all
way.
3 levels,
Yeah.
so they're all the same.
Bigger bodies with hormones.
And just so
love my
everybody
middle
knows,
school.
7th grade is the worst.
Mhm.
You can go ahead and mark it down.
Mhm. Never went above 6th, except for when I did my student teaching. I did it in high
And Oak
school.
Ridge, they go to middle school in 5th grade. So if I got them in 5th grade, they were my babies all the way
Mhm.
through.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay, ladies, please take, if you didn't get cake or goodies, take some home with you. I'm
Yeah.
sure
That'll save us.
You are out of frame
Oh, I
here,
know, I
okay?
just-
You're out of frame,
I'm
except for your
trying not to
foot.